Speakers, publishers, consultants, coaches, and info marketers unite. The Speaking of Wealth Show is your roadmap to success and significance. Learn the latest tools, technologies, and tactics to get more bookings, sell more products, and attract more clients. If you're looking to increase your direct response sales, create a big-time personal brand, and become the go-to guru, the Speaking of Wealth Show is for you. Here's your host, Jason Hartman.
It's my pleasure to welcome Josh Elledge to the show. He has got an amazing story. He's the founder of Savings Angel and the founder of Up My Influence, which is an amazing new spin on public relations and search engine optimization. So it's a pleasure to have him here, coming to us from Orlando, Florida. Josh, welcome. How you doing?
Jason, how are you? You're on the road right now.
I am on the road. I'm in a hotel room.
Yeah.
And I'm in Sarasota, Florida, attending a mastermind meeting this week. So, it's not the ideal sound studio, but it's good enough.
Yeah, it'll work. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So Savings Angel, you sold that company about 12 years ago, Josh.
Yeah.
And you were able to generate a lot of traction through publicity, right?
Yeah, and it was out of necessity because I think like a lot of startups or a lot of entrepreneurs, we get started and we have a great idea. We certainly have ambition. We have a desire to make an impact in some way.
Right.
My big challenge is I had no money. I had actually been through a bankruptcy. I'd lost 2 homes, but I knew that the idea for Savings Angel could be successful, but it just required visibility because if you could have the best business idea in the world,
right.
In our case, Savings Angel was a program that would help consumers cut their grocery bill in half. And it really worked very well. Like I tested it for myself and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really working. Like I could really impact a lot of people's lives. So we would charge them $5 a week and we could save them $400 or more on their grocery bill every single month. But again, if nobody knows about it, it doesn't matter how great your product is. So
absolutely,
I had to get eyeballs. I had to get people to see what I was doing. And, these were really at the early, there was MySpace and that was about it. Other than that, I couldn't really make an announcement anywhere. I had nobody to make an announcement to.
So it was before the era of social media pretty much. And,
yeah.
How did you get the attention of the mainstream media, for lack of a better word? You give it the right name. How did you get media attention?
Yeah, so I just started reaching out to anybody I knew who had an audience. And instead of saying, well, I'll pay you for advertising, which I couldn't do, I had, Jason, just so you know, the dire straits I was in when I was launching this. And I had come up I was living in Michigan at the time, and it was February, and I owed money for a heating bill, and that bill was due on a Friday. And I had reached out, asked so many people. I said, look, I don't have any money for advertising, but maybe I could do a quick segment on how your listeners could get free toothpaste, free breakfast cereal, teach them how they could do this. We'll put the coupon links on your own station website and we'll send them there. And, we'll also mention Savings Angel, but I'm just here to serve. So I did this segment. It was a small radio station and I went on air, did the segment. And at that time as well, I didn't have phone notifications of what the results were of that segment. So I didn't know. So I got back in my car. I had no way of checking, drive home, and I got on the computer and I had logged into my admin account at the time. And I made enough money for that 5-minute segment. I made more than just enough money to pay my heating bill.
So you could stay warm for another month.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. And I'll tell you, as a guy, as a husband and father, it's very humbling, just in our culture when you can't pull it together to pay your family's bills.
Right.
It kind of sucks.
Sure.
And emotionally, it was a horrible place to be in again. But I was that entrepreneur that knew that I just needed to, it's I had so much desire and so much grit. I just needed the right vehicle and the right courage to get out onto those stages rather than thinking I could build my business from behind a computer screen and just hide out all the time. It needs a little bit more.
Right. Okay. But how did you get that interview?
I called them. I just made a phone call.
So it was strictly cold calling.
I did. Okay. Here's what I did. I actually, at that time, I called their marketing department I didn't tell them all the details on the phone. I just said, I'd love a quick meeting with you real quick. Of course, they're going to say yes to that. So during the meeting, we go through all the numbers and I said, man, that sounds really good. I have zero budget. Maybe we could work out something where I could do a segment. We could send people to the station website. We set up an affiliate relationship with them on that first station. Not all of them we had to do this. I mean, some of them we were just like, at TV, I never do. TV, I always just now, we'll talk about what I do today. I've done a bunch of media since then. But yeah, so we'd send them to the station website. They would promote Savings Angel. People would sign up. I think, I was paying maybe $5 to the radio station. I'd collect 15, the balance of that. And that's out of that money. That was enough profit to pay those bills that week.
Right. Yeah. Good.
So they went for it. And I'll tell you that in traditional media, if you ask for things like remnant space, look, I know it's PI, they call PI, like per inquiry or performance-based. They're really reluctant to do it. But if you say, hey, listen, you throw me in remnant space, you got anything that happens to open up, love to at least test out, see how it goes. In their case, it tested out okay.
Remnant space for PR or advertising?
Well, no, they would consider it to be advertising. So it'd be like a paid segment, because we're giving a call to action. And in that case, of the $380, we did a fun segment, didn't sound like an ad. I ended up paying them like $90. And they're like, hey, it's not a lot of money, but we'll take it. It's a good segment by itself anyway. So you're seeing a lot of creativity. I mean, even today it's TV and they're all being really creative to try and get as much ad revenue as they can.
Yeah, they've got a whole different level of competition today than they used to have years ago when they enjoyed their monopolies. You've done about 2,000 media placements, is that correct?
We're knocking on the door at 2,500 by now, but
Fantastic. Congratulations.
I don't mean to quibble over details, but
another
I've been busting my tail for many, many years.
Right. How many of those are since you sold Savings Angel in the post Savings Angel world?
Oh, so Savings Angel, I actually still own, but it's kind of on autopilot, really. It's just a blog. I've got a small team.
I guess the proper question then is, how many of those media placements are related to Savings Angel and how many related to something else, or are they all for Savings Angel?
Oh, yeah. So let's say it's 2,000. I would say probably about 90% are Savings Angel because I developed this persona of I'm the Savings Angel. And so I'm known as the guy who can get you a deal, hookup, or upgrade on anything in life. So if it's traditional media, it's like 95 to 90, it's 98% Savings Angel.
Okay. So a lot of people listening, including yours truly, might be saying to themselves, well, this is something that's really interesting to the media. The media always wants to run these sort of things that help consumers. I mean, look at what Clark Howard has done.
Exactly.
There are various consumer advocates out there and so forth. What if they have something less interesting than that? Someone might be listening thinking, how do I get PR for my business? And they're thinking, I'm not worthy, as Wayne's World would say, right? What do they do?
So that's actually a really good point, Jason, is that you need to take a step back to a broader scope, and then you might end up having to do media around something that doesn't directly benefit you in terms of, putting people into your sales funnel, but it serves that audience and it's a way for you to build a relationship with them. Now, if it's really, it's not going to be a good fit for that. Again, what I'm a big fan of is newsjacking, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Sure.
So
I've had David Meerman Scott on the show a few times.
Yep. Same. So listen, newsjacking absolutely works, but it's not enough. I'll just tell you, it's not enough to just produce the content. You need to build relationships. You need to offer yourself as a servant and help and make journalists' jobs easier. If you'll do that, then they'll book you all day long. If you're not going to get on and sell your stuff, you're there in service. You're there to make that, think of that audience and how can you improve the lives of that audience? If you'll do that, then that's like the ideal situation for a journalist.
Okay,
it's when marketers get on. Most marketers screw this up. You got to take your marketing hat off, especially when you're in the early stages of a relationship with someone who's got an audience or media. Their job is not to sell you stuff. I've been a syndicated newspaper columnist now for 10 and a half years. I get bad pitches every day. And some of them, the thing that really infuriates me more than anything is most of these are coming from bad PR firms that are charging their clients thousands of dollars.
Right.
And today's PR are just glorified spammers. There's really great practitioners in the PR world, but unfortunately, culturally, it is not kept up with where the media is. And when I say the media, I mean media/influencers, anybody with an audience who is looking to serve that audience with content. Content that if you're a subject matter expert, you can bring that expertise to the table. You just have to, again, you got to do judo, right? You got to give the influencer, the media, that audience what they want first. And, oh, by the way, this is what I happen to do. If you're interested, the audiences are smart. Look, they'll know how to find you. You just you just got to take your sales hat off, set it on the table. You're going to be all right. It's absolutely
so
worth it.
What does the media want? You said give them what they want.
Yeah. So the media, obviously, they want to be able to share a story based on something that the audience is already interested in, which is why newsjacking works. So newsjacking, basically, again, you're just looking for things that are trending, things that are, media are going to be talking about it. Mm-hmm. So what you want to do is you want to bring a unique point of view, and you want to get a response in your pitch where the media will respond with something like, oh, Jason, that's really interesting. I actually hadn't considered that or thought about that. You don't want to do a pitch where you're like, okay, well, it's Hitler's birthday, and so you're going to do a pitch on, well, Hitler was a little bit of a jerk. It's like, wow, way to go on.
I don't think that one would go over very well.
Yeah. No, it's just like, don't be afraid to be a little bit, I don't want to say edgy, but be unique in your voice. Have a strong point of view on something, and that generally is going to play pretty well. So as a consumer expert, there's always something I'm like, oh, listen, they're advertising that. Don't pay attention to that. What you need to do is get on your computer, do your own research. And that's my common thing. It's like, let me tell you how to read beyond the advertising. This is what you ask for so you can get the best deal. Or this is how you get the hookup. This is how you get the upgrade. Sure. See, Jason, that's going to sell to popular media almost every single time.
Right.
Because everybody wants to feel like they've got the inside track. So it's good messaging for a general media audience.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So does that work for any industry or profession though?
Yeah, so variations of it absolutely will. So a lot of times now with Up My Influence, we will get some challenging cases. Like we'll get attorneys who are like, I'm a slip and fall attorney. And so we say, okay, well, we're not going to talk about necessarily like litigation, but maybe we'll talk about the sidewalks are icy. And so business owners need to have a legal obligation to keep their sidewalks clear. If they're not, here's the, it's advocating for that audience. It's helping that audience with value. So yeah, you're always looking for something that's just going to be, very accessible to that audience. And they're going to be like, oh, honey, turn that down. I got to pay attention to this. Right. Like that's the kind of response you want. Yeah. Authors can be really, really tough. If they just want to get in, talk about like just, boring secrets that they've got in their book. Again, it just has to be something that's very actionable. It needs to be something that is extremely relevant and it's very topical to what people are concerned about today.
Okay. Yeah, very, very interesting. You mentioned before, Josh, you alluded to the idea of how the media has changed and how the public relations business has changed or and there's still some dinosaurs, or hasn't. Yeah. There's still some dinosaurs out there operating the old way in a new world, and it's not working very well. Talk to us about that. Give us just a little history of public relations, if you will. We could obviously go back to Torches of Freedom I think that was in the Macy's Day Parade with, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now, but the famous guy who said to have launched modern public relations. But just really it's pre and post internet, right? And it's not really the day the internet sort of began. It's the day it really got some traction in the world of public relations.
Yeah. So in the old days, it really mattered who you knew and the relationships that you had. And again, this is pre-social media. Today, every journalist, every influencer is accessible. So you don't have to pay a middle person to access them. But what you do need to have is the right approach. And that's where most people screw this up. And when I kind of badmouth PR firms, what I'm talking, or not or individual firms, but just the industry. I've spoken at Social Media Marketing World on this topic. I got myself in trouble because I came out a little strong. It's kind of funny because Mike Stelzner is amazing, and Phil, just amazing. But
he runs a great conference,
yes.
by the way. Yeah.
Social Media, honestly, one of the best conferences that I attend regularly.
I have been. That's great.
He said, Josh, we learned for the first time just how many PR people we have who attend Social Media Marketing World, and they were all in your room, and they hate you.
Yeah.
Now, our social media people and the entrepreneurs, they love you. All right, so here's the deal. You don't need to pay for introductions anymore. I think it's kind of a cop-out for scared entrepreneurs who don't want to get rejected. Is kind of I'll just pay somebody else to make that intro or to absorb the rejection. Okay. Now that's fine, and I get that I get what you're wanting to do as an entrepreneur, but here's the best way to do this. Put yourself in a position where you're unrejectable. And what I mean by that is that if I get a pitch from a PR person and instantly they go right into sales mode, it's like 95% of what I get.
Sure.
I shut down. I delete them. I block them. I unsubscribe. And then their email list, I'd say I never subscribed to this list. And so I complain. Like, it's just bad. So instead, I will tell you that I do get personal emails, slow down to speed up. And so what they'll do is they'll say, hey, Josh, I've been reading your Savings Angel column for a little while. I listened to one of your podcasts. Thank you so much for the advice you gave on such and such. Hey, if you ever need an expert who knows about what a rip-off car warranties are, or car financing, or, the newest, I'm just kind of making some stuff up, or how to buy a mattress or whatever, call on me. It would be an honor to work together on something. They're not selling me on their service. They're basically just saying, look, I'm here, would love to do a story. Now, they also can send me a follow-up in a month, and I'll be totally happy with that. And they'll say something like, and especially if they follow me on social media, maybe comment or favorite or, anything, like engage with me, get on my radar somehow. Like, this is only going to improve the chance that we're going to work together. And then they send follow-up just like, hey, Josh, I'm not sure if you're aware, but, with Labor Day coming up, there's going to be a ton of mattress sales. I run a comparison blog. You could give me anything, and it's something like that. But just say, and if you say these words, and this is like magic, by the way, when you're pitching a journalist, especially.
Hold on. Here are the magic words.
Yeah. Or an influencer, especially like anyone who's like a digital blogger, digital influencer. If you say these magic words, and these magic words are, I don't need any kind of promotion, links back, credit, anything like that. I'm just happy to help.
Right.
Now that's going to take guts for a marketer to say something like that, because it's going to fry their brains.
Yeah.
Because a marketer is always promoting.
Right.
Okay. But here's what happens when you do that. The influencer relaxes, and the influencer says, they genuinely do care about me and my audience. So of course I'm going to work with them if I can. And if I can't, I'll let them know, that there's a lot, just a logical reason why I can't, pursue that. But generally I'm going to work with that person like 8-9 times out of 10 if they take that approach with me. And you know what I'm going to do? As someone who cares about producing great content, of course I'm going to source my expert. And so I'm going to link to them anyway. And so again, just have the courage to serve first. So it's like that anytime. It's like we talk about, I do a lot of work in influencer marketing. When you're reaching up in influence, the fastest way up is you've got to reach up with service and offer to do something nice for that person. There's some big players in my space, in the entrepreneurial space. Like I've done free press kits for, LinkedIn profile makeovers for. I mean, it's just work we do and we charge for normally, but I'm happy to do it. And normally what I'll tell that person is say, listen, I don't need anything in return. Honestly, I've gotten so much value from what you've taught. It would be my honor to help out in some way. Yeah. Completely pro bono. In all those cases, they've found a way to at least give me a shout out. They've done something nice. People,
that's great.
It's just basically,
audiences.
trust influencers, trust journalists.
Right.
Like everyone's still human.
Right, exactly. It's basically the golden rule. It's playing the long game. So absolutely. Very good. Josh, wrap this up for us and give out your website.
Yeah, so we do a lot of stuff pro bono, and that's most people engage with me for a few months before we ever think about doing anything else. But that's all at upmyinfluence.com. We do videos and audios. We've got podcasts and we've got everything. We just give it all. We give away what other people charge for, because that's my consumer advocate brain right there.
Sure.
Yeah, and you could follow me. And then if the other website we were talking about, of course, is Savings Angel. Lots of savings. One angel, that's me.
Good stuff. Josh Elledge, thanks for joining us.
Jason, thanks so much.
Thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any episodes. Be sure to check out the show's specific website and our general website, hartmanmedia.com, for appropriate disclaimers and terms of service. Remember that guest opinions are their own, and if you require specific legal or tax advice or advice in any other specialized area, please consult an appropriate professional. And we also very much appreciate you reviewing the show. Please go to iTunes or Stitcher Radio or whatever platform you're using and write a review for the show. We would very much appreciate that. And be sure to make it official and subscribe so you do not miss any episodes. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.